What's good, y'all? Rich Sosa back in a building with another banger. Now, first things first, before we go ahead and get started, I gotta go ahead and say thank God for another day and another opportunity. Now, as y'all can see from the looks of the title and the screen, today I'm going to be bringing y'all a very special center build today. Now, I'm going to be calling it the two-way post-diming shot creator build in NBA 2K23 on next gen. Now, this build, I'm telling y'all, it's actually going to come out to a diming finisher, but as you can see from the gameplay, we're going to be versatile on both ends of the offense and defense, and with this build, we're going to be able to get contact dunks as well as standing contact dunks, and then when it comes down to our attributes, the ones that we're going to be able to reach a 100 plus for is going to be the close shot, our standing dunk, 3-point shot, pass accuracy, interior defense block, and our defensive rebound. And I'm gonna be real, this build honestly reminds me of Yao Ming. So look, I just want to say thank you to everybody stopping by and showing support. And if it's your first time coming through, be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. Smash that like button, turn on post notifications to be a part of the Rich family. But more so than anything, I would appreciate it if y'all went ahead and commented down TG for thank God and where you're tuning in from, and I'll be sure to definitely hit y'all back with a response. So let's go ahead and get into the breakdown of this build, and I definitely want to be sure that everybody is following along with every single step of the way. So the thing that we need to get started with is putting it under the center position. Now when it comes down to this build as far as the body settings, what I'm going to go with when it comes down to the height is going to be all the way up to 7'3". Now if you want to, you can make your own adjustments along the way just to go about it based off your own playstyle, but I think 7'3" is going to be best in what I'm bringing y'all today. Now when it comes down to the weight, go ahead and put this to 230. 8'1" when it comes down to the wingspan, and then to take up the most space on the defensive end, I would go ahead and pick the body shape of build. Now we're about to go ahead and get into the breakdown of the most important part of this build, and the first area that I'm going to get started with is going to be the physicals. Now when it comes down to our speed, I'm going to go ahead and put this all the way up to a 59. That's going to bring our acceleration up to a 44, and then when it comes down to the strength, I'm going to go ahead and put this to a 69. Now for the vertical, I'm going to put this to a 75, and that's going to be crucial to get contact dunks. And then as for the stamina, put this to a 90, and really take into consideration what this area is going to look like with the gym rat badge or completing your Gatorade facility workouts. Now when it comes down to the defensive end, I'm going to go with the defensive rebound of a 94. As for when it comes down to the offensive side, go with the 69. Now moving on to the block, I'm going to go ahead and bring this up to an 87. As for our steal, this is really optional, but I'm going to go ahead and skip over for now. Then when it comes down to the perimeter defense, I'm going to put this to a 62. As for the interior, I'm going to go with the 74. And we get a total of 23 badges. And I think out of all three tiers, we have some pretty solid badges to pick from. Now just off glance, I like Box Out Beast as well as Anchor. Chase Down Artist is definitely going to be useful as well. But when it comes down to the playmaking, I'm going to go with the pass accuracy of an 86. 49 for our ball handle, and right there we get a total of 16 badges. Now with this build, I like Floor General and Hall of Fame, also Clamp Breaker, but we're going to be able to get Post Playmaker, Dimer, and Needle Threader all out of tier 3. Now so far, honestly, I think we're looking pretty good. Now to get started with the shooting end, I'm going to go with the free throw and bring this all the way up to a 73. As for the 3-point shot, from the gameplay, you've seen just how effective we were, so I'm going to go with the 3-point shot of a 77. As for the mid-range, this is optional, but I'm going to go with the 77 here as well. Now we get 18 shooting badges. I like Agent 3 with Amped, also Midi Magician, Space Creator, but then for tier 2, I'm looking at Green Machine. And then really the only badge out of tier 3 that I like is going to be Limitless Range. Now the takeovers are going to play a huge factor with this build, especially when it comes down to adding on boost. So when it comes down to the finishing end, to wrap everything up, this is what's going to be one of the most important parts of this build. So when it comes down to the standing dunk, to get the elite standing contact dunks, go ahead and put this to a 90, 80 when it comes down to our driving dunk, 70 when it comes down to our layup, and then as for the close shot, go with an 85 and then put the rest into our post control, and we're going to be able to get a total of 20 badges. Now I like Fearless Finisher, also Slithery with Pro Touch on Hall of Fame. Now out of tier 1, I'm looking at Limitless Takeoff as well, and I'm happy that we do get Posterizer when it comes down to tier 2. Now as far as when it comes down to tier 3, all of those badges are really going to be useful when it comes down to the post scoring end, but as far as when it comes down to this build name, I'm telling y'all, this is going to be one of the very best two-way centers that you can make, especially when it comes down to taking this build into the 1v1 courts. Now when it comes down to our takeovers, we get the sharpshooting, rim protecting, as well as the glass cleaning. Now to get the most potential out of this build, I would first go with sharpshooting takeover. Now whether or not you want to put it as the primary or secondary, that's up to you. And then for the second one, I'm going to go with paint intimidation, but you can really swap this out with see the future takeover as well. Now let's go ahead and check out the build to make sure that we made it correctly together. And if you followed along with every single step, we should be getting these 3 comparisons. And as y'all can see, like I said earlier, we have created the two-way post diming shot creator. Now I did say that this build was going to come out to a diming finisher, but as far as when it comes down to the offense and the defensive end, I really think that this is one of the most versatile center builds that you can possibly make, especially if you're looking to have somebody dominate the inside and the paint for you. Now look, I just want to say thank you for everybody coming through, and look, we're going to get into more breakdowns of this build, so let's get started when it comes down to the breakdown of these attributes. So as far as when it comes down to buying your own boost, that's going to be a +5. You also go ahead and get another +10 from your 2 separate takeovers. And if you do decide to run with a teammate that has on Hall of Fame floor general, that's going to be another +4. And then your stats will also gradually raise the better that we play. Now take that into account with this build. But let's go ahead and get started with the finishing badges. So I'm going to go with Posterizer, Slithery, as well as Silver Limitless Takeoff. Now I like Pro Touch in Hall of Fame, but when it comes down to tier 3, I'm going to go with Core Rise Up on Gold with Fast Twitch. Now for the remaining badges, based off of my own preference, I'm going to go with Fearless Finisher. But as far as when it comes down to the shooting, I like Agent 3 as well as Amped. And then when it comes down to Space Creator on Gold, this is what's going to allow us to break ankles on this build. Now when it comes down to tier 2 and tier 3, you definitely have to run with Green Machine and Limitless Range. And here's going to be a few different jump shots that we're actually able to pick and recreate from, just to give y'all an idea of what this build is going to be able to do. Now if you were me, I would definitely go ahead and copy along when it comes down to the badge layout. As for the playmaking, I'm going to go with Clamp Breaker, also Vice Grip, and then from here, you can go ahead and pick any badges based off of your own liking and playstyle. I like Mismatch Expert, but also when it comes down to tier 2, Break Starter and Hall of Fame is going to be one of the main badges that I would run. Now for tier 3, I'm going to go with Core Silver Post Playmaker, and then for the rest of the way, you can base this however you'd like. Now for the defensive end, I'm going to go with Hall of Fame Box Out Beast, Gold Chase Down Artist with Core Gold Rebound Chaser, Silver Anchor, Bronze Challenger, Glove and Interceptor, and then to wrap it up, I'm going to go with Gold Workhorse. Now this is what the build is going to be looking like. Let me know in the comments, did you create it exactly how I brought it to y'all? Or did you make your own version? Now I really just want to say thank you to everyone who has made it this far into the video. And if you did so, man, be sure to let me know in the comments where are you tuning in from, and I would highly appreciate it if y'all commented down TG for thank God. Now look, before we get out of here, if it was your first time coming through, be sure to hit that sub button if you're new, smash that like button, turn on post notifications to be a part of the Rich family, and like I said earlier, I will definitely be sure to get back to y'all with a response. But with all that being said, man, I got one last thing to say. Thank God and Rich out.